Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you the daily Apple report for Thursday, February 16th, 2023. Before we jump into all the charts, I just want to encourage you to please click like and subscribe if you would, and share the content with friends and colleagues. Helps us out a great deal. I also want to mention that if you haven't seen it already, we did post on our YouTube channel today a free, of course, stock pick on Airbnb. They had positive earnings. They launched above a key channel resistance, now support, anticipating gains of about 20% from present price levels. There is room for the market to retrace back to long-term support. And I show all that in the video. It's about a 10-minute video. And I just want you to know that if you do watch it, just know that we put two of those individual stock pick videos a week out every single week. Most recently, Applied Materials. Last week was Google, Microsoft. You never see them on YouTube. What you do see on YouTube are the daily Tesla and Apple reports and the occasional stock pick like Airbnb. We also have the daily Triple Q, the daily SPY report on wickedstocks.com. Also, weekly S&P 500 index, NASDAQ 100 index, and the long bond ETF, the TLT, every week. So all of that for one package price. Check us out if you would. So let's talk Apple. Big picture, and we're going to work our way into the near term, that is the day itself. Just a reminder that we came off of long-term support back in early January that was targeted from October on in the lower 120s. Following a test of that low 120 support, I began mentioning the 170s as a late year objective, as an area that is in reach as we move into later 23. And we're about 2/3 of the way there already inside of 2 months. So here we are on the way up, as you're well aware if you watch the daily Apple report regularly. We had a trouble spot that I was anticipating in an area that is now 138.88 to 143.59, a long-term descending 1/3 speed line in combination with a channel top. This was an area that we were allowing, if you will, to contain buying on a monthly basis, and the market could perhaps fall back into the low 120s from there, but it obviously did not do that. And we had the buy signal above the 1/3 speed line. That was step one. The final shoe to drop on a low 170s objective was closing above the 143.59 channel top, which we did about 2 weeks ago when we gapped higher. This is our base of long-term support, moving targets that I'm going to use in conjunction with rising speed lines, and we'll determine exactly, which of these is the key area to buy into longer term. Right now, it's the upper 130s, which I'll get to in a moment, and we're not going to see that anytime soon. In fact, let's talk about the day itself. One of the key events on Wednesday was the settlement above this. The descending flag at the top of a move is typically a setup for bullish continuation, but you really can't act on it until you actually close above the flag or the descending channel top, which today is 153.87. I think it was 154.26 on Wednesday. I'm just going by memory here. I forget actually, but this is decent support, able to contain selling through next week. And our next midterm resistance area, our next trouble spot to the upside on the long-term charts in the low 160s is now expected by the end of next week, holding above 153.87. Yes, there's a 152.78 here. There's also a 152.88. That's another thing altogether on the daily chart. I'm not going to get into that right now. But in terms of the buy signal that occurred, and it's not so much this channel top here, but this short-term channel top here that I think is the trend resuming signal to 160.88, which I'm expecting by the end of next week. So if you get a chance to buy 153.87, you could buy this level here in anticipation of the low 160s. You could buy 160 calls. You could buy the stock outright, but just know that we have really, I'm going to call this a 3 to 5 day buy signal. It might take into later next week to realize, but 160.88 is a long-term descending 2/3 speed line in combination with a 5/8 Fibonacci over the same two extreme points. A being the November all-time high and B being the January low. Now, this is an area that can also contain weekly buying pressures. And once again, we just might top out here into March trade. So for those of you who trade the 2 to 3 week, 3 to 5 week time horizon, this is good A, long liquidation territory, and B, short setting territory. Whatever that means to you. It might mean buying then 150 out of the money puts or 140 out of the money puts. You might buy 140 out of the money puts when we test the low 160s. I wouldn't have an indication for the low 140s, but because it's a meaningful resistance area, this market could fall back into this zone within a month or two of testing 160.49 to 160.88. This in line within the confines of a longer term objective still at 172.95. And this is a 3 to 5 month objective roughly above 143.59. And that allows for topping out in the low 160s for at least a week, possibly a month or so before we head back up again. And final thing I'll say about this 160 is that if we do close above 160.88, that launches another 2 to 3 week buy signal into the low 170s, that 172.95 channel top, able to contain at least quarterly buying pressures when tested, possibly into later year, and if settled above, would mark a significant long-term buy signal for Apple as we move into later year. Hi, if you enjoy watching our daily Apple report, you'll love our daily Triple Q and SPY reports. They're presented in the same 5 to 10 minute video format. Our daily SPY and Triple Q analysis provides directional market signals that are correlated with highly specific price support and resistance levels. Whether your trading time horizon is short or longer term, we promise you a distinctive edge in your trading of the SPY and Triple Q. We offer a 5-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So go to wickedstocks.com right now and start receiving your daily SPY and daily Triple Q reports today. Let's talk downside today. That if we do break 153.87, 151.70 is likely. And I'm just going to try to draw that here visually, if you can imagine. If you take a trend line from this high to this high, climbing like so, and then you project it off this low from 4 days ago, coming up at the same rate, it is a very short-term 4-day channel bottom. And if we break 153.87, 151.70 is likely. If we break 151.70, that 4-day channel bottom, 148.22 is in reach today. And that is a level that can contain session weakness. And that, I'm going to do this again. If you take a trend line off of this high and Wednesday's high, and then project an intermediate channel bottom against that low like so, that is 148.22. And that is attainable today below 151.70. I'm not going to say expected because that would be a significant sell-off, especially on the heels of this meaningful buy signal, this near-term buy signal that played out on Wednesday's close above 153.87. But I will say this, if we close back below 153.87, this market can and probably will unwind back to 143.59 by the end of next week or sooner, possibly within 3 to 5 days. 153.59 is this former long-term channel top that we've actually yet to test to the downside. In other words, we tested it, pushed through, never closed above it, then we gapped clearly higher on this. This was a Fed, this was an FOMC, as I recall. I could be wrong. In any event, 143.59 is solid support, and it really is the beginning of the zone down to 138.88 that can absorb selling through March and even into the second quarter. And from here, we can turn higher. We do maintain a low 170s 3 to 5 month objective above 138.88 to 143.59. And while I'm talking about 138.88, I might as well show you that there's a rising 2/3 speed line at 139.80. And this is where we take a look at combinations of rising channel structures. Here we've got all this stuff here. I will make mention of this former, speed line. First of all, the speed line and channel bottom, it's been chopped around so much the last few days that I'm sort of disregarding the whole lot. I don't even have it as a minor point. All these points, though, have been carefully chosen, and I might as well say that 157.50 is in reach today above 153.87, can contain intraday buying pressures. If we push through 157.50 today, the low 160s is actually in reach by the closing bell. That would be a significant rally day. But let me get back to the downside. If we close below 153.87, 143.59 expected by the end of next week or sooner, where we can place a weekly low, And, by that time, that 153.59 is dropping on a daily basis. It's that long-term channel top, and 139.80 is rising. We'll see where these two come together, but they will converge here over the next week, week and a half. And that is our significant zone of long-term support. Let's just leave it at the upper 130s to low 140s is your zone. I don't know why I'm spending so much time talking about it, because I don't expect to see it anytime soon. We are much likelier to reach the low 160s over the next week than we are the low 140s. And that, I think, rounds it out. Check out our YouTube video on Airbnb, and check out wickedstocks.com. We offer a lot for a very reasonable monthly price package. You have a great evening.